The story begins with a young man named Juan, a broke, struggling artist who can't even afford to pay rent. Every day he paints on the streets. His art is beautiful, but the money? Barely enough to survive. One day, as he finishes painting a beautiful girl's portrait, suddenly, a shiny black car pulls up. Inside? The richest man in the area. And guess who's sitting beside him? Juan's ex-girlfriend. The rich guy throws cash at Juan and says, "Here, this probably covers your entire day," then drives off laughing. Juan, wearing clothes that barely hang on his body, grabs his stuff and walks to his car. Honestly, no one knows if he's driving the car or the car is dragging him. He returns to his hometown, a quiet village full of artists, small galleries, and dreamers like him. You could say a paradise for painters. But trouble finds him again. His landlord shows up, angry about late rent. Juan throws the little money he has at him. The landlord scoffs, "That's only for last month. You still owe me for this month." Juan shrugs, "I'll pay later." So the landlord throws a water bottle at him. But Juan? He doesn't get mad. He simply picks it up and adds it to his collection. At the end of each month, Juan sells plastic bottles for extra cash. The landlord mocks him. Poor man logic. But we know better. That's called doing whatever it takes to survive. Later, Juan walks to his dream art gallery. He begs the owner, "Please, just give my art a chance." He even offers some money, but the owner laughs. This isn't enough for even 1 square meter of wall space. Juan keeps trying. "I've improved. Even my girlfriend Tian loves it." The owner smirks. "Tian? Isn't she blind?" Juan nods. "She lost her vision years ago, but she believes in his art because she feels it in her heart." The gallery owner points at a painting of a potato. "Now this makes me hungry. That's real art." Juan walks away, crushed. "Let me tell you about Tian. She's blind. The only job she could find is as a massage therapist, but people take advantage of her." One day, Juan catches someone harassing her. He loses it. He does to the guy exactly what the guy did to her. Now, do you feel what she felt? But instead of apologizing, the man brings his friends. They beat Juan up badly. Later, Tian takes care of his wounds. Juan pretends to be a hero. "I beat them all." No mercy. Tian smiles. "Yeah, I heard them scream." She doesn't know it was actually him screaming. To cheer her up, Juan gives her a gift, a pair of shoes. She's touched. They dance together. As Juan leans in for a kiss, Tian suddenly asks, "Who's that?" Juan panics. "Just a friend. He got kicked out of his apartment. He's crashing with me." Later that night, Juan and his friend go to the rooftop. They drink some kind of sauce, get so drunk they pass out. And then it happens. A giant spaceship appears above the building. Juan wakes up and sees it with his own eyes. He tries to wake his friend, but the guy's completely out. From the ship, a girl steps out. She looks like a cartoon. 2 more alien-looking artists follow her. It looks like they came to draw. Juan takes out his phone, tries to snap a photo, but he forgets to turn off the flash. The light goes off. The aliens see him, and just like that, poof, they vanish. But they leave behind something. Juan walks over and picks it up. A pen. Since he's an artist, he decides to keep it. He has no idea. This pen is about to change his entire life. The next morning, Juan wakes up, heart racing, still shaken from what happened last night. His friend sees him and laughs. "Are you dead? You're just asleep." Juan quickly starts telling him about the alien spaceship and the strange pen. But something strange happens. His friend begins finishing his sentences. Juan stares at him, shocked. "Wait, did you see it too?" But his friend just shrugs. "No, bro, you were mumbling the whole thing in your sleep." And then he shows Huan the drawings he made before sleeping. They're the same three aliens. Huan feels hopeless. No one's going to believe this. So he heads out to paint on the street again. He's working on a portrait when his color runs out. He searches his bag, nothing. Then he remembers the alien pen from last night. He pulls it out and tests it on a blank sheet. He draws a simple sketch. And suddenly, boom, the drawing becomes real. Huan freezes. To test it again, he draws an apple. And just like magic, it appears in front of him. He takes a bite. It's real. It's sweet, juicy, real. Excited, Huan rushes home with the half-eaten apple in his pocket. He runs to his friend. Look, I drew this and it turned real. But of course, his friend laughs. What are you saying? This is just an apple. Go check into a hospital, man. Huan insists. Tell me what to draw, anything. His friend smirks. All right, draw a gold bar. Huan does it, but nothing happens right away. The friend scoffs and throws the drawing out the window. Suddenly, they hear an old man downstairs yelling, "Who's throwing bricks from above?" Turns out the gold bar hit him on the head. He picks it up, slips it in his pocket, and walks off like nothing happened. That's when Juan's friend finally believes him. Eyes wide, he says, "Draw a bigger gold bar." Huan does it. This time, it works. They both scream with joy. Living in a small, ugly room, Huan has an idea. He pulls out the pen and draws a giant palace. Just like that, boom. A real palace appears in the middle of the city. Crowds gather. People are shocked. Even the police arrive, confused. We were just here 5 minutes ago. Who had time to build this? Officers try to open the gates. Huan and his friends start to panic. We didn't think this through. Huan tries to erase it. But how? That's when he finds a button on the pen. He clicks it. And instantly the palace disappears. Right in front of everyone. Gone. People are left speechless. Back in the room, Huan's friend says, "Let's draw money." Like 200 million. His friend tries, but only draws numbers that don't turn real. Huan takes the pen, draws stacks of cash like a pro, and the entire room floods with money. It covers the floor, the furniture, everything. Later, the building owner shows up. He's angry, complaining about trash outside. One of the girls tries to explain, but he snaps, "You come in with one guy, leave with another." Then he turns to Huan, but suddenly stops. Huan and his friend come out dressed like clowns. Well, what they think rich people wear. Huan flashes stacks of cash and says, "Here's rent for the next 100 years. The landlord is stunned. Where is this kid getting all this money? Soon, the whole neighborhood sees Huan rolling in style. 3 luxury cars, pretty girls around him. Laughter, jokes, fame. Huan walks into the most expensive real estate agency in the city. And guess who he runs into? His ex-girlfriend, arguing with her rich boyfriend, begging him to buy her a $15 million villa. He refuses. Huan walks up to the front desk, calm and cool. "I'd like to buy 2 palaces in the most exclusive area you've got." And then pulls out a bag full of cash. Pays on the spot. His ex watches, stunned. Regret hitting her like a truck. That night, Huan takes his blind girlfriend Qian to the palace. He gently asks, "Can you guess what's in front of you?" She replies, "Is it the $40 million palace everyone's been talking about? The one you bought?" Huan sighs. Surprise ruined. Still, the party begins. Guests line up to congratulate Tian. Since she can't see, Huan hires a girl whose only job is to describe the palace to her, from the golden chandeliers to the marble floors. Then, Huan gets down on one knee. He proposes, in front of everyone. But Tian says no. She turns and walks away. Huan follows her. "Do you not love me?" She says, "I do. But I said no for your own good. You're rich, I'm blind. You could have any girl you want. Huan pauses, then says softly, I'm not rich. Everything I have came from my artwork. Tian is confused. Huan explains the truth. About the aliens, about the magic pen. When she hears that, she takes a deep breath and says, Then draw me eyes and make them real, so I can finally see you. Huan likes the idea. He starts drawing a pair of eyes exactly like those of a beautiful girl. They wait, hoping the eyes will come out of the paper and appear on Tian's face. But instead, the eyes show up on Mangfa's shoulder. It's terrifying. They quickly erase the eyes using the pen's erase button, and just like the palace, they disappear instantly. They sit in silence, thinking, what if they tried to draw a whole face? Would it appear too? Would it be even more terrifying? So they decide to draw Tian's entire body, from head to toe. But this time, they carefully draw her eyes in the right place on her face. The drawing takes 5 hours to finish. Tian waits nervously, hoping her vision will return. But nothing happens. Feeling disappointed and a little hurt, she thinks they were just playing with her. She gets up and walks out the door. But then, she suddenly disappears at the doorway and reappears inside the painting, with her eyes wide open. It worked. Tian can now see. Huan is overwhelmed with joy. He starts showing her the world, takes her on trips and tours all over China. Meanwhile, Mangfa finally finds love too. He falls head over heels for the TikToker he once obsessed over. Life takes a full turn. Huan finally lands an art exhibition. Paintings that no one cared about before, people now fight over them. Bids rise higher and higher. Everyone believes Huan is a genius, a born artist. But what they don't know is it's not just talent. The magical pen isn't creating things from nothing. It's taking them from somewhere else. At the same moment, Tian got her vision back. A famous actress on a film set suddenly went blind. The news went viral. No one could explain what happened. Her fans were heartbroken. Doctors had no answers. Even the money Huan and Mangfa used wasn't free. It disappeared from a real bank. Security cameras showed the bills vanishing into thin air. The police lost their minds trying to figure it out. That's when Li Chongyi, a jealous painter, started digging. He noticed Huan's sudden success and the bank theft. He connected the dots. He called the police. I know someone who got rich overnight. It has to be him. The police investigated and were shocked. The serial numbers on the bills Huan used to buy his apartments matched the stolen money from the bank. Officers rushed to arrest Huan and Mangfa. Right in the middle of an art auction, crowds were gathered, paintings were being sold. Huan's dream was coming true, until the handcuffs came out. Huan and Mangfa tried to explain. We didn't steal anything. We have a power, a gift that gives us what we want. But they didn't mention the pen. The police didn't believe them. So Huan offered a challenge. Ask for anything, anything at all, and we'll make it appear right now. The chief smirked. Okay, make a Ferrari appear in my office. Huan nodded. But no one can watch while we do it. Moments later, a red Ferrari appeared inside the police station. Out of nowhere, the officers were stunned, and with no proof of a crime, they had to let them go. That night, someone knocked on Huan's door. He froze, terrified. Was it the police again? Juan's ex-girlfriend, the one who left him when he was poor. She looked exhausted, tired of the lies. She told him the truth. Her husband, the famous painter Li Changyi, had hit her out of jealousy. She came to apologize. I'm sorry for leaving you back then. All I cared about was money, but now I'm done. I'm going back to my family. But Huan shook his head. You didn't do anything wrong. Back then, what could you have done with a broke man who only cared about his paintings? He looked into her eyes. My father was in the hospital. You needed help, and your husband gave you that. Don't feel guilty. Then, lost in thought, Huan did something dangerous. He told her the truth. Everything. About the pen. The aliens. How it all began. He even opened the safe and showed her the pen. What he didn't know was that her husband had placed a hidden camera in her clothes. He heard and saw everything. Now, he knew the secret. At the same time, the police chief was reading a strange new report. A Ferrari had mysteriously vanished from an international auto expo. The exact same Ferrari Huan made appear in the station. He connected the dots, and he went straight to Huan's house. He looked Huan in the eye and said, "We know what you've been doing. That device, whatever it is, you need to hand it over. Otherwise, you'll be treated like thieves. However, since there was no law against magic yet, there would be no charges if they cooperated and surrendered the pen." Huan didn't hesitate for a second. He was ready to hand the pen over to the police. But there was just one problem. The pen was already stolen. It had fallen into Li Chengyi's hands, and he had already started using it, with help from his assistants. The first thing Chengyi drew was a stunning art gallery, his dream gallery. Then he drew royal outfits and an ancient imperial palace. The exact design of China's historic palaces. Basically, stealing the image of Chinese heritage for himself. He even tied up his wife and tortured her. Then, Chengyi drew a beautiful girl from a magazine cover to become real, just so he could marry her. That same girl who was competing in a beauty pageant suddenly vanished, pulled into Li Chengyi's world. But everything he was doing was making it easy for the police to track him. The officer showed up and explained something that shocked him. The pen doesn't create things. It transfers them. Whatever you make is actually stolen from someone else. Even after hearing that, Chengyi still insisted he did nothing wrong. "All I did was draw," he said. Then his assistant had a crazy idea. Why not draw a new planet where they could escape from the police? So Chengyi drew an alien spaceship, and it appeared. But instead of helping him escape, the real aliens came out. Angry, furious, terrifying. They demanded, "Who summoned us? Where is our device?" Just then, Chengyi climbed into a tank he'd drawn, aimed the cannon at the aliens, and tried to attack. The aliens didn't flinch. They simply redirected the cannon back at him like it was nothing. It became clear these aliens were far stronger than humans. They beat Chengyi down as punishment and finally took their device back. But one alien got really pissed when he saw that the device had been altered to look like an ordinary pen. He held it up to Chengyi's face and demanded answers. That's when Huan stepped forward and confessed. It was he who had disguised the device. Chengyi had nothing to do with that part. The alien paused, then nodded. He was impressed by Huan's honesty. He said, "Your planet is just like ours. There's both evil and good." So the aliens decided to leave in peace. But before they left, Huan had one final request. He asked them to return everything made with the pen back to its original place. The alien agreed. In a flash, everything disappeared. Every single object. Even Tian's eyes. Even the plumbing. Even the designer clothes that Chengyi and his assistants had drawn. Gone. But the aliens noticed something. The area was now crawling with police cars and helicopters. It was getting dangerous, and since their spaceship had also returned to where it originally came from, they had nothing to ride back on. So, they ran. At lightning speed. They escaped before the humans could get to them. After that, police arrested Chengyi and his assistants for kidnapping the beauty queen, who was finally safe. Chengyi's wife also came forward and apologized to Huan. She said she had no idea there was a hidden camera on her clothes. She wasn't part of any of this, and just like that, the story of the magical pen came to an end. Life went back to normal. No one wanted to buy Huan's paintings anymore. But Tian reopened her beauty salon, and yes, she married Huan. Now they've got a beautiful child together. That's the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and support the channel.